Hey guys, Rodney here, Grant Central USA. You know, one of the questions I get all the time is like, Rodney, how did you get started? What made you want to do grants, and how did you end up doing what you're doing with Grant Central USA all over the U.S.? And so what I've decided to do is just to kind of document and share with you some of my journey, some of the things that I've done to get to where I'm at, to share with you some of the challenges that I had in getting to where I'm at and doing what I'm doing, and even to share with you some more about what I'm looking to do on this journey. So why don't you do me a favor? Let's go for a little ride. I'm gonna take you to one of my favorite places that I enjoy going to in the greater Pasadena area. And I'm gonna take you over for a ride. We're gonna go over to, I'm not even tell you where I'm gonna take you yet. I'm just gonna surprise you. I'll take you over to this place. But it's a place that's very popular, that a lot of people know about, and that a lot of people have gathered. I will give you a hint, and the hint is that let's just put it this way. Different people have coliseums of courage, places where they go and get strength and courage or renewal. This is one of those places for me. And in addition to that, not only is it one of those places for me, it's a place that, I'll give you another clue. The color that I'm wearing kind of is representative. That's all that I'm gonna say for right now. But here's the thing. We're gonna go over, and I'm gonna take you, we're gonna go for a ride. And as we go for this ride, I'm gonna share with you more about my story and how I got started with grants. Now, grants are fascinating to me, and I first got involved with them when I was back in Texas. I'm originally from Texas, originally Dallas, Texas. But when I first happened upon grants, I was in Austin, Texas, where I went to undergrad, University of Texas, Hook 'em Horns, and I had some amazing experiences there. But what I'm gonna do is this, I'm gonna tell you about my story. I'm gonna tell you about some of my failures that I had. And I had some failures in trying to figure out how to get funded. You know, you don't always, there's never one of these where you just go straight to the top. There's never that in anybody's journey. It's always up, down, up, down. I'm gonna share with you some of the real ups and downs that I had in trying to learn and acquire this knowledge. And I'm gonna share with you actually kind of like what it took for me to be able to do this at the level that I'm doing it right now. You know, sometimes we see just the end result, we see the success that a person has been able to acquire, but we don't get a chance to really hear the journey. And the beautiful thing is the journey is probably the most important part, because it's in that journey, it's in that struggle, it's in that time where you're trying to figure things out when you don't know if you really have what it takes, but you feel like you have what it takes, but it's all kind of figured out as you go on the journey. So that's been my little piece. Let me figure out if I can get my little keys around here, and then have you hop in with me, and we're gonna go for a ride in Brooklyn. Now, I don't know about you, but I like to name my cars. I have one car named Sierra, the other car is Brooklyn. And I call Brooklyn because Brooklyn's blue. So Brooklyn Blue. And so let's do this. Let's hop on in. Get this door closed. Hey, make sure you get your seatbelt, okay? I want you to be comfortable, but I also want you to be safe, all right? So what we're gonna do is this. We're gonna go for a ride. I'm gonna take you over to one of my places that I really enjoy going. And it's a place, for me, that is a place of rejuvenation, okay? And what we'll do is we'll go for this little ride. I'm gonna get my seatbelt. You get your seatbelt on, and buckle up, and let's just hang out for a little bit, and hopefully this will help you to kind of see some of my journey. What is this going off on? Okay, got some stuff I need to take care of here. So with that being the case, let's go for this little ride. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share with you some more about what it really takes to be a grant writer. So it's almost like you get a chance to hang out and go on this journey. I'm gonna call this journey the road of a grant writer, okay? A day in the life of a grant professional, all right? So let's do this. Let me see, where do I want to start off with this whole journey of telling you? My grant journey Started, as I said earlier, back in the city of Austin, Texas. And I was working at the time for an organization, and the organization that I was working for was an organization that had multiple departments, and it was the Urban League. It was the Austin Urban League, and I was at the time a director. I was the director of youth and education development, and I enjoyed that role. It was a great role. Got a chance to work and help a lot of young people, and they had come to me because at the time I was a consultant, and they approached me about possibly overseeing this department, and I started doing so. And when I did so, we eventually had a contracted grant writer. Now, this grant writer that we hired was a very sharp lady, and she at the time was if I remember correctly, was a stay-at-home mom, but she would come and she would do grants for our organization, and she would come around to all the directors like myself, and she would ask us questions about our grant, about the proposal that she was putting together, and about our program. So she would then take that information and she would compile that information, and she was going to put that information to a proposal. She did, and then she submitted that information to a funder. And in about 2 to 3 months, the next thing you know, we were getting funded. And I was like, to be honest with you, I was blown away. I was like, how did this lady just come and take my words and the other director's words and write down some words on some paper, and then somebody in turn around and give her paper, green paper, money, moolah, dead presidents? And so I was just fascinated with that. And I never forget, I asked her, I said, hey, will you show me how to do this grant thing? And I just had to be young and naive. That's what I blame it on, being young and naive, because she did not share any information with me. And I was thinking that, okay, wow, why is she not sharing any information? But I was young and naive, not realizing that she was probably thinking that, hey, I got to secure my gig here of getting grants, and I can't be sharing with you all my secrets. And so a lot of grant writers, just in case you don't know, if you're thinking about trying to learn this grant thing, a lot of grant writers sometimes tend to be that way with their information. They're really guarded, and that was my experience when I first started out in this field. People were really guarded. Now, I did have 1 or 2 people, really one that I remember, that tried to show us some information, but the information was just so thin. It wasn't enough to really help me. It was so vague that I didn't get the insight that I really needed to really do it well. And when I started, this was around 2000, I want to say around 2002-ish. So the internet wasn't what it is today in terms of like just information, but there was some information. We piecemealed and pulled together some information and tried to put this proposal together. And I never forget, it took about a month and a half to get everything prepared. And then the proposal was finally submitted. I submitted the proposal to a foundation that was in the Austin area, and that the name of it, of the foundation that it was submitted to, was the Hog Foundation. Now, the Hog Foundation, it seems like it's an appropriate name for Texas, right? The Hog Foundation. Can you just imagine? You know, I'm not going to go there, but you think about Texas and the farming and the cattle and everything, but it's called the Hog Foundation. So we submitted to the Hog Foundation. This proposal was submitted for $25,000, and I was excited because I just knew the difference that $25,000 was going to make in the lives of some of the young people that I was working with. And we were doing all kind of really amazing things to help these young people to be more successful in their journey, more successful in their experience. And so that's what happened, you know. That's exactly what happened. And with it all, I decided, I said, okay, great. Let me try to do some things to make sure that I learned this at a very high level. Didn't know what I was doing, so my first experience was just pretty much me diving into the process. Now, here's what happened. That proposal was submitted to this funder, and I'm going to tell you exactly what happened in the next part of this video, because you want to know what happened. I'll tell you, so stay tuned.